Maybe we'll have a party somewhere. What are you doing?
For what?
For the Tulane game. On the second. Cotton Bowl's on the second.
I'm off.
You're off? We're doing something.
Let's go.
We're smoking some shit on the smoker.
That's right.
I'm making some of them fancy cocktails y'all been seeing.
That's right.
It's a party.
I'm inviting everybody to Patty's house.
We can host a little something. We'll have a be in the know.
Ethan.
This is just on the spot right here. We're just doing this. So when you see this, you're invited. Hey, yo. Back for another edition number 673.
I can smell the alcohol in your drink.
I
swear to God. Episode 18.
Of the Who Effing Knows podcast. I'm not drunk. Anybody who's wondering.
No, he's not.
I just purposely don't remember the number we're on. Actually, I do. I just never say it.
We are the official podcast of people whose knees just won't allow them to be great all the time anymore.
I love it. I'm going to go with the official podcast of Hilary Duff fans everywhere.
Oh, that dude. You know what? I thought about that the other day. Did you see what I shared?
I did.
Yeah, that was going to be my...
I had my inner child smiled. I was like, Dave and I agree on another thing.
I did almost write that down as the thing. That's funny that you said that.
Yeah.
I'm a big... it's actually the only reason I like How I Met Your Father. Although it's a good show. I love How I Met Your Mother. How I Met Your Father is actually a good remake, but because she's the main character in it.
Yeah, I haven't watched a lot of it, but yes, absolutely. Yeah. Anyways, that brings me to my first topic for the night.
Oh, yeah?
Because of the Hilary Duff conversation. Hall passes.
Hall passes.
Let's just jump into some fun shit here. Have you ever had the hall pass conversation with your wife?
No, I have not.
Oh, really? That's a bummer.
It is a bummer.
That is a bummer. Well, if you had to choose a hall pass, since she doesn't listen to our podcast anyway.
I don't care if she is. Have you seen my Twitter? If I had to choose one, give me yours first. Give me a sec. Give me a second. Because you do this to me where you've had all day to think about the topic.
I like putting you on the spot. It's fun for me.
That's fine, but I need to
I think it's because secretly, and we're going to start talking psychology stuff with me a little more here. Secretly with me, I love being put on the spot because I like just coming up with something and just saying it, and then it is what it is. That's what we live with. It never hurts me, ever, which is a lie. No, mine, we had a long, lengthy conversation about this multiple times, my wife and I have found every conversation, I go through a couple different women that I'm like, okay, yeah, this one, maybe this one, maybe this one. I always come back to Ciara. I don't know why. I just love Ciara. That's it. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I don't want to say Hilary Duff because she would have been pretty high up there for me, but
she's on the list.
Yeah, no, she is up there, especially like nowadays. I'm trying to think throughout my life, through different stages of life.
Oh,
who was my little celebrity crush at the time?
I did the same thing. That was my same.
It was Venessa Hudgens at one time.
It's a good one. She's beautiful.
Yeah, she's still pretty high up there. I'm trying to think of somebody that's popular now, and I'm struggling.
There you go.
Aubrey Plaza's up there. I'm gonna tell you, she keeps coming up a lot lately. I don't know why. She must be in some show that's popular that I don't know about.
She was in a movie recently. Yeah, I think it was a movie.
She's up there on the top of my list for some reason. She's got that weird vibe to her, and I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is.
I did explain that to my wife once because I also like.
It's not always the looks. They don't understand it. It's the vibe.
She was like, no. I was like, yes.
Yeah,
you just don't get it.
It's the vibe.
You don't get it. Personality does mean something, guys. Just saying. And not that she's ugly. Aubrey Plaza is not ugly by any means.
No.
But, no. It's something about her. She's quirky and weird. I love weird people. Speaking of weird things, how weird do you want to get on this podcast?
Let's go. Fuck it.
You want to get into weird stuff?
Okay.
We actually said before we
could. I've told you before we could go the entire pod without talking about sports, and I'd be perfectly fine with that.
I mean, there's sports stuff we should talk about.
Yeah, no, 100. I'm just telling you, if that was ever the case, There's going to be a time where sports are dead during a certain part of the year.
That's true. That's when we started, actually. Sports were not happening.
You're right.
And we still talked for an hour and a half.
But we were happy about a certain team in the state.
Yeah, that's true. Roll wave.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get serious for a second.
Right.
I want to get your thoughts on something. Britney Griner was released, traded for, not in a sports sense, but like, you know.
Can we just say that Twitter can't take anything seriously? Anything.
They can't. So what are you
just
getting at?
Like you talking about, like she was traded for, and everybody's like, we should have did a 2-for-1. That your boy hit the transfer portal or something, shit like that.
Yeah.
Oh man, this world is great.
It is, and that's kind of what I was getting at. Like, so many people have an opinion on it, and I was just curious if you had one of those strong opinions like all these other assholes out there.
No, not really. I will say, because I was at work today when it happened, and the type of person I work with is like people that do not share the same views as me in like any aspect.
Right.
You know, if you get what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah.
Without me saying it. So they were all pissed off about it and this and that, and I'm just like, I've learned to just keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
Because it is what it is, and but no, I was just like, cool, she's out, great. Like, nobody deserves to be stuck over there.
Right.
I don't care who you are. You don't deserve to be stuck over there.
I totally agree, and that's how I feel too. And I'm glad that you brought up having differing opinions from someone that you work with, because that's something I was going to talk about. Was I never get on Facebook, and I made the mistake of getting on Facebook today, and my dad's posting and other people are posting, and they're all just reiterating the same thing, basically, and it's the same thing you hear out there about why people disagree with what happened. And I think instead of responding to anyone, I did make a little Facebook post today, and it was just like, hey guys, like, when something political happens, or something maybe not even political, maybe something that's just in the news cycle happens, like, why do you all have to take such a strong stance on it?
Yeah. Like,
do you stop and think?
And you know what it's the worst part about it is, like, if you want to have a stance, have a stance. But I don't like when people don't have educated stances.
That's fine.
Like we just talked about it. Like, when it comes to politics, I don't know shit about shit, to be honest, because I don't care enough. I think it's dumb.
Yeah.
Like, it's so divisive, and I try to keep that shit out of my life. But when this happened, and I saw what people are talking about, like how they left the other guy, because that's what we're talking about. Is that they left the other guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, let me do some research. And then you start researching about the guy, and you're like, all right. And then you start figuring out, you know, that they tried to get him, and Russia just won't let it happen.
Right.
Whatever.
And they're still trying.
Right. And but people are just like, they chose her over him. I'm like, I don't think that was necessarily the case, guys.
They traded a rundown old man who's dying, who literally won't be able to do the job he was doing before anyway. For Britney. Is it a political move? Yeah, but it's also the right move. You're bringing home an American citizen one way or another, like, no matter how you want to look at it, right? Like, throw out the pothead basketball player who doesn't stand for the anthem. Don't talk about that. Like, it's a fucking person.
Yeah.
And
that's what one of the articles I read about it was, like, they made the point of, I guess they were talking to somebody, that was involved in it, and their whole point was, it was either bring her home or nobody home. So they chose to bring her home, which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
And if it would have been the other way around, where they brought him home and not her, I'd have been like, all right, somebody's coming home.
Sure, yeah.
Like, whatever.
I think that what I was getting at is, though, like, people take such a strong stance, right? And I wonder, and I said this in my post too, like, do you stop and think before you take these strong stances on Facebook, Twitter, whatever? Like, do you stop and think, like, how does this actually impact my life? Does it actually matter? Like, why do I feel the way I feel? Like, if you think through those things before you go make some dumb post that millions of other people have already made, you're probably not going to make that post.
And that goes with everything, like, literally everything from this to, I mean, this is somewhat sports related, but you know what I mean? It's like,
true.
Like, the simplest shit, people make such strong cases about it. It's just, so... I'm like, dude,
absolutely. I mean, our season was off the rails a while back.
Even to the dude, and even down to the Dalton and Jameis thing. It's like nobody. It seems like nowadays, like, nobody is allowed to be somebody that's like seeing both sides. Like, you either have to be one or the other.
You have to have a take.
Yeah,
you have to have a take. It's tough. I agree, because if you don't, if you don't agree with one side, then you agree with the other in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're guilty by association, which is dumb. I just wanted to talk politics for a second. It's not politics. It's human rights, but still.
How about we bring everybody home that's stuck anywhere?
That would be awesome.
How about that?
Just blow up the whole country of Russia? Send all the nukes?
Do you remember growing up, there was a website. I think it was E-Bombs World.
Yeah.
And they had that one video where the guy was, it was like a little animated video. Yeah. I forgot the name. End of Z-World was the name of it.
All I keep hearing in my head is fucking kangaroos.
Yeah.
Like,
what a video.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
I am tired. Yeah. No, those are the days, man. Being
France
a kid.
France is like, where are the rockets?
That's what we should do one day. Top 5 horrible old videos.
What a time to
pre Vine days too. Like Vine brought a lot of that random crap back, but
yep.
Yeah, I love that shit. All right, let's talk sports.
Let's go for it.
Let's talk sports. We're not going to talk. There's nothing really to talk about the Green Wave right now, but I just want to say roll wave. You know.
Are you surprised? Well, so I was going to say, are you surprised they're favorited? They're not favorited everywhere. With Caleb out?
I was going to say, I don't think I am. I think USC is going to take them lightly too, and I think Tulane's deep and they're good. I think they're a lot better than people think.
I could see a lot of USC. Like USC's got a lot of guys that could go early in the draft, and they could end up just not playing.
I think, and
like Jordan Addison might not play.
I don't want to sound negative here. I've had this thought for a few weeks, to be honest. Tulane's gotten a little lucky. They've gotten a little lucky, and things have to fall in your favor when you're having a magical season. They played a lot of backup quarterbacks. They played an injured.
But to be fair,
they did. They got down to a
third string.
That's fair. But I feel like the last couple big games, right? Like UCF, their starter was hurt. He was trying to battle through, and when they put him back in, he actually started lighting it up. The game before that, playing a backup quarterback, like against Cincinnati, I mean, like the guy clearly didn't even have a grasp on the playbook yet. Like it was, things played in your favor. So now going into this bowl game, which it's still a major bowl game. If they have a lot of people sit out, I'm assuming.
But see, even now though, like this is USC. Their second string guys would probably all be starters at Tulane.
Yeah, I mean, like they have the talent to for sure.
I don't know who their backup quarterback is, but you got to assume it's some top recruit,
right?
Just because this isn't Tulane related, but I saw something on Twitter yesterday, and I haven't had a chance to really look into it. Tennessee has this recruit coming in, like one of the top quarterbacks in the country, coming in, and he's going to be able to early enroll at Tennessee. And because of because of some loophole, he's actually going to be eligible to play for Tennessee in their bowl game this year.
That's weird.
I've never heard of this before.
Will he play? Is he that good?
I don't know. They say he can suit up, but Hendon Hooker's out.
You're telling me a high school quarterback is going to come in?
I don't know that he would. It didn't say whether he would. It said he could if they wanted him to.
That's wild. He better be good.
I'd actually like to see it. Why not?
That's some legend. If he comes in and balls out,
dude, how bad would you feel though if you're Hendon Hooker's backup and you're expected to start this bowl game, and then this high school quarterback that's been there for a week is like, "Yep, here we go."
Zero faith.
What a shitty feeling that would be.
Zero faith. I'm hitting the portal immediately.
Immediately.
I'm going somewhere. I'm just going to play because clearly I don't have a career in the SEC. That's rough,
man.
No, I'm very excited though. I'm very excited. I'm bummed because I wanted to go. I think we talked about this last time. I planned on going to the game, and we have a wedding in College Station right before, so I'll be in Texas, and then I have to come home for the 31st for another little party. I ain't gonna be doing all that traveling. I'm flying out to Atlanta on the 15th. Like there ain't no way I'm doing all that back and forth. So
that's a lot.
Maybe we'll have a party somewhere. What are you doing?
For what?
For the Tulane game on the second. Cotton Bowl's on the second.
I'm off.
You're off? We're doing something. We're smoking some shit on the smoker.
That's right.
I'm making some of them fancy cocktails y'all been seeing.
That's right.
It's a party.
I'm inviting everybody to Patty's house.
We can host a little something. We'll have a be in the know.
Ethan.
This is just on the spot right here. We're just doing this. So when you see this, you're invited. And anybody else that we approve.
I'll bring the kid. He can play with your kid.
That's fine.
There you go.
We could do that. I love it.
Look at this. We just made plans.
Making plans in front of the
Tulane, bringing people together since I don't know.
I don't know. Anyways, no. Pelicans, man. Let's talk about the Pelicans. Well, do you want to go down and then up? What kind of roller coaster do you want to be on today? Do you want to start high and low?
I want to end on a high note, or we could go bad, good, bad. I don't know what you got, so I can't tell you.
Well,
I want to end on a high note. Let's do that.
Let's talk about fixing the Saints.
Okay.
Let's talk about fixing the Saints.
Let's do that. I hate the Saints.
I was reading yesterday, and I'm purely talking the offseason now, guys, because anybody that's listening to this that heard, hey, let's fix the Saints and thinks that there's still a chance to fix the Saints for this year, I got news for you. You might as well play a drinking game for the rest of the year during Saints games.
We should.
I think
that is the only way I'm going to survive.
I made the joke earlier to a couple of my buddies. I was like, listen, y'all better buckle up because I'm pretty sure DA is going to be back next year. And all I'm going to do the whole season is take a shot.
I think I've mentioned this to you, though. I don't know if I mentioned it to you, if I just threw it on Twitter. I'm kind of growing on the idea that we just keep him and we suck another year.
And then we
use that draft pick. You hire a new – what first-time head coach is going to want to come in with no first-round pick?
No, fuck.
No quarterback. I mean,
so
maybe you take a guy in the second because you're gonna have like maybe the 5th pick in the second round. So maybe you get lucky and somebody falls to you. But I'm thinking, maybe we keep him around for another year. We can suffer through another year. I mean, it is what it is at this point.
We're gonna.
Nobody has. I mean, if you think it's Super Bowl in the next 2-3 years, I don't know what to tell you, unless you luck out on somebody, but.
Yeah, you have to really luck in.
I'm thinking you just let DA do his thing next year. We suck. You kind of revamp the roster a little bit. And then you tell a new head coach, hey, we have a top 5 pick. We got some good quarterbacks coming in. You get to have your choice. You know what I'm saying?
So you've kind of already alluded to what your thoughts are as far as like how to fix the Saints.
Yeah, I don't really know how to fix them. There's a lot of shit wrong with this team.
I was reading.
I have serious thoughts, but this is also slightly joking, slightly not joking.
That's tough. I was reading something yesterday that said that you can free up another like 20 to 30 mil this offseason if you wanted to. Like if you want to go make some splashes in free agency.
Like what?
Do you think, I have an opinion, but do you think that they're going to do that? Do you think that they're going to continue to kick the can, as everybody said, try and make some splashes, or do you think they somehow try to find a way to slowly?
I don't know. That depends. So, like, what were the moves?
Nah, I didn't see the exact moves.
All right, so it depends on the players.
Yeah, I think one was like restructuring Mike.
I'm not a fan of. I mean, I get there's players that you like, good players you can trade, and I'd be okay with it. But like, there's people that want to trade all of them, like Lattimore and all.
No, well, you can't. You can't. If you do that, you're screwed. Yeah, like you financially.
I don't know how you feel, but I don't think full rebuilds work.
No,
and once you go into that mode, it's hard to come out of. You gotta get like the Dolphins. Like they just lucked out. Like they had a bunch of picks.
Yeah.
Or the Eagles. Like you get a bunch of picks and it just ends up working out, but it takes so long. Like
I wanted to find the article. I think it was NO Football. I think it was NO.Football who wrote the article.
You got to get younger. Number one, I think the roster has to get younger. Like there's very, very obvious holes. Like the defensive line is a pretty big weakness, which was kind of a surprise. When Cam Jordan is your best player, that's not good. At this point, not a knock on him, but at this point in his career, he shouldn't be your best player. I don't think.
Well, he shouldn't. You're not wrong.
Like you were expecting Davenport to take a step. Like if that. Onyemata kind of took a step back. Like they're just getting older, and the 2 guys you drafted to take their place are just. I mean, honestly, you probably get to keep Davenport now on a pretty solid deal.
You would think, or
at least like a 1-year thing.
I would hope. I don't think that Davenport's going to get that contract everybody was thinking he was going to get prior, because a lot of people were thinking we were forced. Like our hand was forced. I don't think it is. I think right now you're so bad that
it's
it doesn't
just like
really.
This is the first time in it feels like a while where they're free agents, because we went through that phase where we were just trying to go after like the Jarius Byrd phase where you're trying to get the big name guy to replace people, and it didn't work. But they finally got to that point where they were getting these like DeMario. Like nobody thought he was going to be the best linebacker in that, like one of the best players in that class, and it worked. They were finding these like diamonds in the rough, and it was hitting. And now they kind of went back. I guess Marcus May isn't that. but he was one of the top safeties available.
Yeah.
And same with Tyron. So they got to a point where they gave bad contracts to bad players. And I'm not going to give up on Marcus May yet. I still think he can be good. He's younger. Tyron, I think, is.
I'm not mad at the defense or at Tyron or at Marcus May, because if we're comparing, I understand why you're saying that, because Tyron has not had like the year you would think or you would hope he had, but I'm not mad at them in the sense of like I would have been in the past with like Jerry Spurd. Like they're not on that level at all. Like,
well, no, it's just that it's not even so much this year. It's like, all right, so this year he didn't live up to it. We're stuck with that contract and it gets ugly.
Yeah,
I don't remember the numbers exactly, but I looked at it earlier in the year when I was telling you how bad I thought he was, and like we're stuck with it, and it's. I don't know. You think we all kept talking about when Drew left. It was like, all right, well, at least now we won't have a quarterback getting paid this, and we'll have some money. And then
is he still getting paid?
Not what he was getting paid when he was on the roster.
I was just saying.
But
let's call his paid his paid.
But it's just like, I don't know. They finally feel like they had some money to spend, and it's just you missed. And I don't want to say it was bad signings, because at the time we all liked it.
Well, I think that's my point, and that's kind of what leads to my question, right? Is like they can always find money, like, and they're gonna find money again this offseason. So if you can find money, do you keep DA? Do you try and make a run at some free agents? Do you go sign a quarterback? Is there a quarterback out there you're interested in? Like, what would be the one or two moves that you would make?
I don't know. Here's the thing, though. Like, do you have the culture anymore that people are gonna want to come play here?
I think that it's taken a massive hit. It has taken a massive hit. DA looks lost. The offense looks terrible. And
then you gotta question, like, are the guys, like, are our vets, like where's Alvin's head at? He has to. I don't want to put it all on coaching, because at some, like, he's so good that he should still be having solid games, but they're just not. They've made him irrelevant.
Yeah. Like,
is he to the point where he's like, I don't want to do this shit?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, how you could only run straight into the back of an offensive lineman so many times.
Yeah.
Like,
you saw it last year. This year he's been a little more composed, but you saw it last year where he was just like.
And at the same time he's dealing with his other shit. You got to imagine that affects him some kind of way. That's the thing too. Next year you're going to lose him for probably 6 games.
Fuck it.
It's like, yeah, I mean, it only helps.
Next year's the year to lose him. We thought this year we had a chance.
To be honest, I'd like to see them draft a running back, like a good running back. Not even like to make Alvin the number 2, but to go back to where he can do what he does best.
Yeah.
Because this shit of him just being like a workhorse, it sucks. Like, not using him, I don't understand that. It's the most baffling thing for me for this last 3 years.
I'm spitballing here. Here's my thoughts, right? If I had to say, hey, let's make a couple moves, 2 or 3 moves, right? You're gonna keep DA. I think it's gonna happen no matter what. No matter what anybody wants to happen. I think that if anybody becomes the scapegoat this year, it's going to be Pete.
I think it needs to be.
I think it's going to be Pete.
I'd love to get somebody with some new.
I was going to say,
blood in here.
I think if you're going to make a coaching move, he's an easy scapegoat. DA's had a decent defense. You know, do you come get an offensive guru to come run the offense? Like, is there somebody out there you can find? Hopefully, maybe. I don't know.
I think ideally, like in a perfect world, you hire somebody. Like a young offensive guy, and if DA sucks,
you hire him as the coach. I mean, yeah, ideally.
But we're in this situation because they did like a sham of a coaching search. Yeah, they brought people in, but it was always DA.
It was always DA. The only person I really wanted, though, outside of DA was Flores. A lot of people wanted Bieniemy. I didn't think that would have been a good hire.
Like, I wanted Leftwich, but they never did get to interview him.
Leftwich hasn't looked great as an offensive coordinator this year, though. Like,
I'll tell you, I've said it before. I love Ken Dorsey.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of. I mean, you're a Miami guy, so I know you've.
It's the Buffalo offense.
Yeah.
Granted, he's got Josh Allen, but it's creative.
It's
like,
you
just look at the creative offenses. I've seen
it's so creative. Josh Allen run left. Josh Allen run right.
I've seen somebody. I think it's. I mean, I'm sure you like Ryan and Adam, the Saints Twitter, but they've been calling for Detroit's offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
they've made Jared Goff look good.
Well, I actually I have a question about that, because like. Did they make Jared Goff look good, or has Goff always been like okay?
It's just the system, dude. I think system matters more than anything.
I mean,
yes, your quarterback has to have talent, but if your system sucks, Like, Trevor Lawrence hasn't been great this year, but you could see a very clear improvement to where he was with a good coach this year from that shit show last year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
I mean, even, I don't know, even like, I think, like Jameis, even on a lower level, like with Sean last year, it wasn't spectacular, but it looked like it gave you enough in those 7 games where you were like, all right, maybe this year we have something in him. And then this year he comes in and it just looks awful.
Yeah, I don't.
It's not as drastic as Jared Goff, but you know what I mean?
Say, yeah.
I don't know. You just look at it happens.
Geno's a big example. I think Geno's a proper example though of the NFL just morphing through the years. Geno came in at a time where the NFL wasn't suited for the type of quarterback he was, and it didn't change to him. Like their offense, their coordinator, their coaches, they never changed to fit his play style. And then he stepped in after Russ in an offense that was built around a mobile quarterback.
That's another one. That's one on the opposite end. Like, yeah, Russ is getting older. He had some injuries, but he leaves that system that was just kind of letting him cook, and it looks awful.
Yeah, he ain't cooking.
Yeah, no, he ain't cooking nothing.
He's burning the eggs.
Like, you know, I'm a huge believer in like just his system. I mean, you could take some of the best quarterbacks that come out, and if they go to a shit system, it's not going to work.
Yeah, no, I
and then
totally
it derails
agree.
their entire. Tua is the perfect example.
Yeah,
people were giving up on him. Like Miami literally made trades
because I was just like, yeah, Flores.
Yeah, well, Miami made trades to be set up to where if they failed, they have first-round picks that they could draft his replacement, and then you get a good head coach in there that's creative and believes in him.
Yeah.
And it looks awesome. Like he's leading Pro Bowl votes right now.
And I think what it is for Tua, it's kind of the perfect storm. Like it is definitely the offense, it is definitely the coaching, it is definitely the scheme. It's also the players you have around him. Like,
of course.
I mean, they went and got Tyreek. They had
Same with Jalen.
They picked up some good running backs. Their offensive line got better. Like the entire offense got better around.
Well, and
them.
it takes quarterbacks time.
Yeah.
Like no matter what they did in college, like it's unrealistic. Like even Trevor Lawrence, like people are already giving up on Trevor Lawrence. Like
it's been 2 years.
Exactly.
2 years. And he had a sham of a coach last year.
Like you really could look at this as Trevor Lawrence's rookie year,
right?
But it's the same with Jalen. Like they gave him real weapons, a good head coach, and he looks like a totally different player.
That's fair. He looks amazing.
I think that. Do you think that's the new way to win in the NFL? Is to get one of these young quarterbacks and just load up with fucking just. So people are. It seems like go and get the receivers now is the move.
Yeah, I think that should have always been the move. Like if you have a mobile quarterback and you just get some receivers that you don't have to rely on him to be that pinpoint accurate guy that's like threading a needle through zones. You can basically make them play to your style.
Because you can see it. Like Justin Herbert is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but when he doesn't have his guys, like it makes you appreciate guys like Drew, Peyton, Brady, where they made these undrafted guys look good. Yeah. Peyton always had, I mean, he made guys look good, but he did have some Hall of Famers with him almost all the time. But you know what I'm saying? Like they made, especially Drew. Drew could make anybody look good, and it makes you appreciate that a little more. But I don't know. Maybe it changes things where you can go draft. Because like the hit rate on a second-round quarterback is not very good.
No, it's not great.
Anything after first round is not. Even first round's not.
Yeah, it's not great. Well, so and that's something I was going to speak to. I don't know if there's a quarterback. So first move, I was thinking, I think Pete's a scapegoat. You go get an offense coordinator. Maybe that's the move. Second of all, you're going to shore up the D line. You're going to clear some cap. You're going to shore up the D line. Maybe even the O line. You got to figure something out with the O line.
I'd be looking to move Ramczyk.
If you can move him and get something, you move him. I mean, he hasn't given you.
If you can get a second, like there's got to be some team out there that's willing to give you something.
Question about Ramczyk though: is it scheme? Is it that he's been injured? Is he playing through injuries? There's things behind the scenes that maybe you don't see because he was such a monster initially.
It is weird, yeah.
I don't know. But
on the offensive line, honestly, McCoy, and as crazy as it is, I'd want to keep Caesar.
They got better.
Yeah. Even Pete to an extent when he was healthy. That's his biggest thing is he's just never healthy. But like McCoy is probably the number one. I want to keep him.
Yeah.
And of course Penning, you want to see what he turns into. But
yeah.
Anybody else on the O-line? If you can get something good for him, fuck it.
Yeah. I think Jameis is gone. I think that's a given. I think they probably keep Andy. as like a bridge quarterback. You know, if you draft somebody awesome, if not, and he ends up being a starter, whatever. Like, you're not going anywhere anyway. As bad as that sounds, I'm not expecting big things next year.
No, that's unrealistic.
And then I think you plan for the next draft. If you can find a quarterback in this draft, if you can trade up for a guy, you get him.
Yeah, I honestly, I would try to load up on picks for the next draft. That's what I would do. Free up as much space as you can without completely gutting your team. And, like, identify, like, your 3-4 guys that you feel like you have to build around.
Yeah.
And everybody else should be available for the right place. Like, Alvin, I don't want to trade Alvin. But if you could, I think after the season you won't ever get that. But if you could get like that Christian McCaffrey offer for him, that's hard to turn down for a running back that's hitting that point.
Yeah, I think
you might not find Alvin, but running backs come out now.
Oh, running backs are a dime a dozen. I love Alvin. Running backs are a dime a dozen. If you can get rid of them for anything significant, get rid of them.
Yeah,
I hate saying it like that, but listen, I'm not. You will never hear me touting paying a running back, keeping a running back. And if I am, it's because I love the guy. And I think it's best for both.
Well, Alvin was the one where I was like, yeah, he does everything. And then when they paid him, he didn't do everything because they stopped doing it.
I was going to say, you know what's changed for me now? The offense has changed. And on top of that, it's kind of like one of those situations where it's like, let's do right by him now. Like, let him go somewhere else.
I'm not tied to any player anymore because the system they're going to be in, you would imagine, is not going to be around very long.
Yep.
Like this, like you're going to hopefully get a new coaching staff come in sometime soon, and I want them to have their guys.
Right.
So
you've gotten lucky too, man. Like, you've got talent. You've got young talent. You said you got to get younger. You've got young talent. You got Olave. Shahid has shown some flashes. Defensively, you got Werner. You got what's his name? They got just Caden.
Yeah, I don't think you're as bad on defense as people think.
All the corners.
I still think. I mean, Alante, I think, is good, and I still think Adebo can be good.
He's all right.
Yeah, I mean,
he's all right. He's an NFL.
He's a guy you need.
Player. Like, he's a starter.
Like, if Alante ends up, ideally, Alante becomes your second guy where you drafted him. You would hope that, and I mean, just athletically, he's superior to Debo.
Right.
But like in the situation where he's out and Adebo has to step in, like you should feel good about that.
Yeah.
Like, you could do much worse.
No, I agree. Let's move on from the Saints because we probably talked about that.
We're at like 30 minutes already.
I was going to say we're probably getting into it. The Pels have been fun, man.
The Pels are the 1 seed.
The Pels have been fun. Number 1 seed.
It makes no sense. Like,
it makes all the sense in the world.
No, it doesn't. Like, it doesn't. We could go back and listen. When we talked about where we thought this team could be, we both said like 4 seed tops. Granted, we're a quarter of the way through the season. If I told you that BI, CJ, and Zion would play like 12 games together total, and we'd be the 1 seed, you would laugh me out the room.
Pels stacked,
right? But you would be like, yeah, we could still hang around. Like, dude, there's
everything. We were being humble. I was definitely being humble. You're right.
I don't think I was. I don't think I was, because I was getting shit from people saying, like, people were telling me the Mavs would be the 4 seed, and I'm like, go look at the roster to roster. The Mavs have nothing on it.
I mean, I just thought the Mavs would be a solid team because of Luka.
I honestly thought Phoenix and Golden State is worse than I thought they would be.
Yeah, that shocked me.
I thought Phoenix. I assumed Memphis would take a step, which they've had a lot of injuries. So, they're probably still up there, but I thought Phoenix, Memphis, Golden State, and then I was like, us would be, I thought that's where we would fall.
Yeah.
At the end of the year,
I don't think we finished as the 1 seed.
I don't think so either.
I think that our prediction of like 4 seed,
but
it actually may have been low. Maybe it's 3, maybe it's 2.
But we're the 1 seed and we haven't had everybody healthy.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're finally figuring out an offense that looks like it's worth a shit. You know what I mean?
You give the ball to Zion before he gets in the post.
They're moving the ball. Trey has just hit this leap that is unbelievable.
Trey looks phenomenal.
I don't want to take him out the start line.
Dyson is giving some strong minutes, dude. Man. Dyson looks good. Jose's killing. Yeah.
All right.
Herb's been hurt. Herb's been hurt. BI's been hurt. Zion was out a little bit. CJ's been hurt. Right now, as bad as it sounds, CJ is probably your worst starter.
I was just about to ask you something.
Go ahead. I know what's coming.
Do you approach him about coming off the bench?
No.
No?
I don't think so. Maybe not yet.
What if the option is, like, I don't want to take Trey out the lineup?
Yeah. Well, so who are you choosing between Trey and Herb? You would assume Dyson's coming out for CJ.
I'm thinking.
Or are you talking leaving Dyson in and then I'm talking about what we have right now.
I don't even know. Like, is there a lineup where you could have Trey, Zion, and BI in at the same time and not have CJ?
No, I don't think so. I think you're gonna bench. All
right. Well, what if you just replace CJ with Dyson?
You could. That's what I was thinking. Like I think in my mind, if you move him to the bench, the starting point guard becomes Dyson.
And your second unit is CJ, Jose, and Trey.
See, I'm almost thinking that like it's interesting because like I think Herb is the guy that you have the conversation about for Trey. Trey doesn't take CJ's spot.
No. It's Herb's defense. Like, yeah, Trey's gotten better at defense. Zion is playing on defense, and it's making the world of a difference.
Yeah.
But Herb's defense is elite, and if you can have him and Dyson in at the same time,
yeah,
like that's crazy.
Yeah.
They'll throw out that lineup sometimes where it's like Jose, Dyson, Herb, Trey. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, that's hell for anybody.
Which leads me to my next point. Everybody better leave Willie Green alone about his damn lineups.
Right.
Okay. He's got too much talent to figure out.
They bitch about it like 3 possessions into the game. We're 3 possessions in and Zion hasn't touched the ball. I'm like, give me a break. Like, relax. Like,
I see Devontae's first off the bench instead of Jose.
How many games do we have to play for people to admit Devontae's having a good year?
He is having a good year. He's having a very
on both
year.
ends.
Yeah.
Like, he's stripping the ball from people. Like, almost every player is playing well.
Yeah. Which is shocking. I'll be honest. That is a little shocking. I've been banging a drum for Dyson the whole time, and I kept saying, "Oh, he's going to be the one. Like he's a guy that's going to get in."
He doesn't look out of place at all.
He doesn't. But
he could start on how he would start for the Lakers right now.
Absolutely, he would be one of their best players.
He would be their big 3. like that's so crazy.
But so what I'm getting at. So I said that I've been saying that all off season, but in my head, I was honestly thinking that like guys like Herb, guys like Trey, guys like Jose would kind of take a step back because maybe a sophomore slump, whatever you want to call it. I was thinking the league's seen tape on them. They saw them in the playoffs. Like, they know how they play. Ain't no way Jose's going to do that little.
You would think.
But he's done it.
You would expect Jose to kind of take a step back because he's undrafted, that kind of thing. Like, Trey's a first-round pick. Like, you could see Trey take another step. But what he's done.
Trey's taking a massive step, though. Like he's done exactly
like legitimate 6th man of the year candidate.
Yeah.
And I keep joking about it. I actually think he should be in the dunk contest and the 3-point contest.
He could.
He has to be in the 3-point contest. Has to be. He's like the leading percentage.
Yeah.
Guy.
And he's shooting from 4 feet behind the 3-point line.
He's also he leads the league in like free throw percent. Like, it's crazy. Like, the things he's doing right now. Jackson Hayes wants to be Trey Murphy so bad.
Yeah, well.
That is what, like, every time I watch, that keeps coming to my mind. Every time Trey does something, like one of these dunks, I'm like, that's what Jackson wants to be.
Yeah.
Like, I just think of videos of him, like, practicing corner threes before the game. I'm like, you just don't get it. Like, you don't know what you are.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be a stretch 4, stretch 5 until you learn to be just a player,
I don't want to talk bad about Jackson Hayes. He's clearly not in the long term.
Yeah,
and he hasn't.
They're probably to the point now where you can't even get anything for him.
I don't want to talk bad about his work ethic or anything like that because I don't know what he's done in the offseason. But
he ain't gonna hear it.
It seems like it's true. Who knows, man? People come across things.
If he does hear it, feel free to come confront this.
It seems man. Motherfucker's 7 foot tall. I don't care. It seems like he just didn't put in that much work in the offseason. Like in the 3 years he's been in the NBA, 3 years, right? 2 years? Fuck, I don't know. It seems as though he's the same player.
Yeah, I haven't seen any improvement consistently. Like we talk about, he has that stretch of 5 games a year where it's like maybe he's started a quarter.
He never knows how to play with the guys around him. Like, he doesn't know his spot on the court.
And he's fallen so far down the depth chart. Like,
He doesn't know how to. He doesn't box out.
It's over for him here.
Yeah, I don't know
because you know what, like, dude, the second EJ Liddell is healthy next year, they're giving him a shot.
Yeah, I'd like to see him play, man.
Yeah, like
that's another guy that's like polished already.
It's like, I mean, he's fallen so far down the depth chart. Like, Willie's getting legitimate minutes over him some games. Like, when they need to go to that depth of big, it's Willie off the bench. They don't even look at Jackson. Jackson don't even break a sweat. Like, does he even get in when we're blowing teams out?
No, not really. I don't think that. Honestly, like, think about, like, he's been in some, but
we getting GT minutes and not Jackson minutes.
That's hurtful.
Like, GT's just trying to show up in his little 3-piece and kick it.
It was great, man.
Like,
it was great.
You know, I mean, yeah, that's honestly, I think that's like the only disappointing thing. And it's not even that disappointing because I don't really care because we don't need him. But it's disappointing to be like, he's the one draft pick I feel like you didn't hit on.
Yeah.
I guess but like he probably wouldn't play for us, but he's a solid player.
He's a solid player.
There's not a lot of teams that I think Jackson Hayes would really crack a rotation on.
I think he would. I think he would crack rotation on other teams. He's young. He's athletic. They'd put him in.
Yeah, but they'd replace him in a second.
They're gonna play a different style. It's gonna be fun. Like, just run and gun. Like, he's gonna get a bunch of lobs and have highlight plays. They're gonna fill the stands.
At least Naw turned into somebody good. You know what I mean? At least you flipped them into. CJ and Larry, you know?
I was actually looking this up the other night. Like, when you just said, Naw is like playing well, I was like, in my head just now, I remember the stats I looked at like 2 nights ago. I was like, he's averaging like 10 minutes a game and 4 points a game.
No, I mean, like, you can, at least when he plays, he has little spurts. We're like, all right, like, he just won a game for them last night.
Yeah, he did.
Like, he has these spurts. It never happens with Jackson.
That's fair.
It's just, whatever.
All right.
Do you still think they need to make any kind of move?
I don't know, man. Like,
it's tough when you haven't seen them all. Like, you still don't have that consistent.
I don't want to make the decision. A lot of people say another big, which is something you've been banging the drum for. But they've been playing Larry with other bigs now, and it looks a lot better. The rebounding's gotten better. I don't know.
I want to just dead all the KD talk.
Yeah,
that's what I want to kill.
I don't know why that's even a conversation. I thought that was dead. I saw it come back, but I didn't pay any mind to it.
And I'm looking. I understand you get a superstar. Like, you're the 1 seed in the West. You get another like a legit superstar.
Yeah, but
maybe you going all in this year. But I think I'd prefer the long term.
Yeah.
Thing like you want to be the flash. Do you want to be the flash in the pan team, or do you want to have the possibility of the Warriors, where you build a team, like a homegrown team, that lasts for...
It depends what you have to give up, but then, even on top of that, if you give up nothing, like if you give up some picks and like some lower level players that you don't really care about, right? Like, you still have to find playing time, and it still shakes up the locker room. You are
tearing, no matter who you give up, because we've love every single player on this team, and you're gonna have to give up somebody you really like to get Kevin Durant, more than likely, just for salary purposes. And it's like, are you willing to tear down this culture you built up?
I don't think they are, but who knows?
Yeah, right? No, I highly doubt it. Unless it's like you're saying, where they can just find a way to get them for nothing. But
basketball-wise, it makes the most sense in the world. If you can give me a Kevin Durant, absolutely. But I don't know. There's something in me that's saying...
It's the fact. It's his age for me. Honestly, that's the one thing. I don't want to give up a chance at building a legit team that can be together for years and years and years for a 34-year-old, 35-year-old, whatever he is.
Yeah, I mean,
that has never won anything without the greatest team around him.
He's putting up the best numbers in the NBA right now.
That's great. Let's wait till he gets to the playoffs.
I don't even know what their record is.
Kevin Durant every year puts up numbers like this, and he's won. He couldn't win anything until he got with the best team in the world. That's it.
Fair.
There's something to that. There's something to not
I can't
winning.
argue it. I always think of that stuff too, right? Like, there's something to players putting up fake numbers and never winning. Like,
Anthony Davis put up fake numbers for how long?
He's still doing it.
Well, he's got a Mickey ring.
He's still doing it.
Anyway,
I love that the Lakers are the Pelicans of like 6 years ago right now. I love it.
I love that that AD's finding this groove and they're still the 12th seed.
Yeah.
It's great.
Welcome to hell, guys. You're going to live there a while.
Yeah.
That's all I got. No, top 5. Let's do top 5. Let's wrap this shit up.
All right.
How long are we going?
45.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that's good. That's good. Oh, Baker Mayfield hits Van Jefferson for a 23-yard touchdown. Baker, by the way, before we get in the top 5, I just wanted to talk about this for a second because I was thinking it earlier. I wrote it down. Baker has been in L.A. for a day and a half, 2 days, and he's already starting. Or he's not starting. Sorry, he didn't start tonight. He came in like a couple minutes into the game and apparently throwing touchdowns.
Can I start the Baker replacement of Matt Stafford agenda? Just because?
No, not yet. Not yet. You got to give it time because he looked terrible the whole game.
I didn't see a single play.
He looked terrible. I just wanted to
I'm going to read the stats, and that's all. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to piss people off on Twitter tonight.
It's so interesting to me that he's playing after being there for like a day and a half. I just wanted to call it out. Kudos to them. They're in hell too.
Yeah.
LA teams. What are you going to do?
Worth it. They got a Super Bowl.
That's fair. Top 5. We came up with this on the fly right before we started.
That's what I've been doing on my phone the whole time. Is right now.
I haven't written anything down, so you're going to go first. Hopefully it'll just. I don't even have a 5. I have nothing.
I don't think we'll have too many same things. So we're doing top 5. I'm going to say spots you like going to or would like to go to for your birthday.
Okay.
Both. A little bit of both. Because I have a couple where I've been and a couple where I would like to go.
All right.
How's that?
I love it.
All right. So I don't know what the graphic's going to say. Top 5 birthday spots. Bam.
All right. You go first.
All right.
Number 5.
Just came from there. Vegas.
Nice.
I would go to Vegas every year. Every single year. Nice. It's so much fun. If you enjoy just food and drinking, it's great. Don't have to gamble. Just go out to a bar, go drink some cool drinks, have some cool food, vibe out to some music.
I like that. And we were supposed to talk about this. My birthday's coming up.
You got
That's
my
actually
number. It's not that.
Huh?
You got my number.
I know. But I forgot to bring it up again. I was actually talking to my wife about it.
We need to spend more time outside of the pod.
We probably should. The Tulane game, January 2nd. That's it. You're all invited. Don't show up at my house unless you're invited. Which I guess technically you just got invited. No, I was talking to my wife about this, about Vegas, because both of us feel the same way. It's like I don't like to gamble. I don't know if I want to go watch shows. Like, what am I going to do there?
Never seen a show. I literally let my 3 friends I went with go to a show without me, and I stayed back and just watched the Golden Knights game.
I mean, that's cool. I like to hang out in bars and listen to music. So I mean,
that's
cool.
me. I don't like to. I'm not somebody that like gets up and dances at clubs. Like, I hang out in the little couch area and drink my drinks and vibe. That's what I like to do.
I like it.
We hit the little hookah spots. That's what we do.
Fuck. What's my number 5? I have no idea. Number 5. Top birthday place to go. Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese. I thought we were going like cities. All right, here we go.
We can go cities.
No, that's fine. Chuck E. Cheese is great. I love it.
I was going to go cities. I just said Chuck E. Cheese because I thought it was fun. If we're going cities, I'm going to go.
Cities,
you know what? I'm gonna do a cop-out because I just went there. Number 5, adult trip only, though, Disney World.
Just so you can drink around the world for like 4 days straight.
Basically, yeah.
I like it.
Drink around the world.
That's why we went for our honeymoon.
I also like. I mean, I don't hate that. See, some people like make fun of Disney adults. People don't understand. There's so much. I don't care either. There's so much to do if you don't have kids with you. I don't fucking care if other people have kids. Like, also, I'm gonna get drunk.
I like rides. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
I'm gonna get drunk. I'm gonna have fun. Like, if I'm in Animal Kingdom, I have fun doing the Wilderness Explorer. I'm gonna be a giant kid getting drunk off my ass.
Right.
Like,
I am gonna ride these rides until like my body is like, no, you're not. Like, that's it.
I'm different though. See, I like the rides. I'm also gonna meet the characters. I love just talking to the freaking characters and being a nerd. I don't know. It's fun to me.
It's cool.
I like acting. I like pretending
you're never gonna hear an argument from me against that.
It is what it is.
My number 4 is something I would like to do. It's something my boss has told me about. It's a Viking cruise through Europe.
Okay.
He does like a Viking cruise through the mountains. It's like 2 weeks long. You stay on the water between the mountains for a couple of days. They hop off in like England and Ireland and all these different things. Like, it just seems cool. It's expensive as shit, but I want to do it.
Now you got me thinking, right? Like, first I said Chuck E. Cheese because I was joking, and then I'm like, okay, if we're talking cities like destinations, I'll do Disney. But now I'm like, shit, are we talking like? I wasn't thinking of like how much money I have readily available. Like, can I just go anywhere? I can go anywhere.
Well,
like,
I mean, I say expensive, but it's not like if you saved for a year, you could do it. It's not like it was like a couple $1,000.
Okay.
Which isn't outrageous. Disney's going to cost you
No,
$3,000.
Disney, that's Vegas. That's the same thing. Okay, I like that. Because when you said, I was like, fuck, I mean, I'll go to Europe. I'll backpack around Europe. Like,
even that's not crazy. Like,
no, it's just the flights.
Yeah.
But since you talked about Europe already, I'm going to leave that off the list. Number 4, my favorite city. I've said this before. I'm going to Chicago. Fucking love Chicago. There's so much good food. Like, people don't understand the food mecca that Chicago is. And then if you can catch a Cubs game while you're there, like, you're in heaven, dude.
That's cool.
Bulls game.
Never
whatever.
been in Chicago.
Yeah. Wrigley's magical.
That'd be cool. I'm with that. My number 3, somewhere me and my wife have been like 3-4 times, Gatlinburg. But specifically, I want to get all my friends, like a group of like 20, rent a big-ass cabin and just kick it in the cabin for
That'd be cool.
a weekend.
Yeah.
Because I can't be around everybody for that, like, too long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but I just want to take a group of people. And you know what? I say Gatlinburg. Literally anywhere with mountains that I can go be in a cabin and we can all kick it and drink and just hang out. That's what I want to do.
I love it.
For just a weekend.
I love
Would be
it.
awesome.
My
birthday's in the fall, so the mountains are awesome.
My birthday's in January, so it's a little
you get
different.
The snow.
Yeah, it's interesting you said that, right? Because right now I'm going between 2 places for where I want to go for my birthday. So number 3, I'm going to go with the one that I'm not going to choose, and then number 1, you'll know where I'm trying to go for my birthday. Number 3, I'm also going to go Gatlinburg.
I like it. Yep.
Same reason.
It's such a fun place.
Yeah, just get away. Like, just being up in the mountains. Like, that's something that's always appealing to me, being out in the wilderness.
Yep. And then if you want to go, like, do shit, there's unlimited amount of stuff. No Russell Wilson. Unlimited amounts of stuff you could do.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's all you got for Gatlinburg? You got anything else you want to say?
No, I don't have anything specific. I love the idea, and it's literally probably like a 10-minute or maybe 3-hour thing that I would end up doing. I love the idea of sitting in one of those hot tubs, looking out over the mountainside with snow on the mountains, like just kick back with a drink in my hand.
My wife and I have gone up there. Actually, this is kind of, I'll tell you the story real quick. First time we ever went up there was for Thanksgiving, just her and I. It was like, I think it was our first vacation together. Went up there. It was the weekend the fires happened.
Oh, yeah.
So that Monday, so we were out there. We got to do like Thanksgiving. They lit the Christmas trees and all the lights and shit out there that night. We did Black Friday out there, did the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
That Monday, we were leaving, and of course everybody's leaving. Traffic was so bad, I was like, and we just stayed in one spot on the road for like an hour and a half. I'm like, all right, if it gets to this time, I'm going to call them. We're going to see if we can just stay in the cabin one more night. Luckily, traffic did what it did. We got out of there. We got to a Walmart like 3 hours away. Everything was on fire. And our cabin burned down.
Jesus.
The place we rented, like their little central thing burned down. Like if we'd have stayed in the cabin that night, we'd have been in the fires.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right.
Glad we left.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But ever since then, that was our first vacation, and a couple years later we went through the same company because we wanted to give them money and stuff because everything they went through.
Mm-hmm.
So we went back, wanted to see what it looked like out there, and then we went back right after our son was born for just a third time. And we do the same thing. We try to go like higher in the mountains every time.
Yeah.
And then we've been wanting to go back. We're talking about going back next year, but it's going to be kind of tough with the baby and everything. So
yeah, I would imagine.
We'll see.
Figure it out though.
We'll see. I want to go back when it snows, but I'm terrified of driving in the snow up a mountain.
Yeah, that's a big reason why I'm shying away from going this year. Was we were talking about going in January, obviously, and a friend of mine is from up in like Middle Tennessee, and she was like, "Yeah, the only thing is like you might get snowed in," and then it just hit me, and I was like, "I don't know."
That's what I'm saying. Like my birthday is the end of October, like Halloweenish. It could be a perfect time to go. Like just cold enough to do the hot tub. I'm gonna plan it. We've been trying to plan it for a couple of years now. Whatever.
Yeah, I'll go.
We'll invite you.
Let me know.
Victoria can come too.
That'd be dope. Victoria would love to go. So that's the thing. Like we talk about trips all the time, and that's the one that she's always like, yeah, like I'd love to do that. Me, I'm a guy. My number 2. We're just gonna roll right into it. It's a good segue. My number 2. I'm a guy that loves going.
Skip my number 2. Go to your.
Oh,
number
did
2.
we?
Go to your. Just do yours.
Oh shit,
do
we
yours.
just had that whole story. All right, whatever. My number 2. We'll skip his. We'll go back to his. It's just going to like the beach anywhere. I love the beach.
Well, my number 2.
That's fine. We'll share in it.
It's not. I have a specific place, but go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I could say a specific place. There's a few, but I'm just gonna say the beach. Either like Destin, like Sand Destin, like the bougie part of Destin, like it's beautiful, man. There's some good food out there too, some good drinks, like some really cool spots to hit. You can always find a nice like vacation home, like right on the beach for not too expensive if you have a good group of you, or somewhere out of like Cancun or like somewhere in Mexico, like I don't know, really anywhere in Mexico on the beach would be dope. But
that'd be cool. My number 2 was Miami.
But Miami doesn't have beaches.
Oh, South Beach. South Beach is awesome. Like, the beach itself is awesome.
I'm trying to think. Yeah.
South Beach is great. It's actually a topless beach.
Oh.
Which I did, like, straight out of college we went to, which was pretty cool. We didn't know. Like, people were just walking around like that. I was like, what's happening here?
It's kind of crazy.
But no, South Beach, like, the beach itself, it's kind of away from everything. Like, if you go, you're going to stay in the city. And you got to take a little Uber to it, but no, you could definitely go and everything you can do out there. Like there's little bars you can go in where you don't you can be dressed in like beach shit.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
I think I've been 3 times. I've been to Miami now.
Yeah.
And it's cool, man. Like the beaches, and I'm not even like a big beach guy, but it's like a clean beach.
Yeah.
Well taken care of. The water's beautiful. Like that's real water out there. You know what I mean? Like it's not the ugly part of the Gulf water.
Oh yeah.
So like Miami Beach is awesome. And then just like the city, like talk about food. Like you get real Cuban food down there.
Dude.
You get some cafecito, some real Cuban coffee, like the good shit.
I've never had Cuban coffee. I want to have. I've heard so much about Cuban coffee, and I love coffee.
You haven't had caffeine until you've had Cuban coffee.
That.
There's just crack.
I've heard that. I lived.
Did they give you like cafecito in these little bitty cups? It's literally like the little cups you can put ketchup in at a restaurant.
Really?
It's just that. That's how strong it is. Now, like people from there will drink it in like cups that are like this big. But
so I went to. I mean, it's not the same at all. It's completely changes the subject in a sense. That my favorite trip I've ever been on when I went to a beach was when I went to Cancun for my bachelor party. We went to Isla Mujeres. I forget how to say it, but it's like off close to Cancun. You could take a boat over to it, and it had like one of the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen. And like it was kind of the same thing. They had like a little tiki bar like on the beach that you could just like walk. It was like a giant tiki bar like just on the beach in the middle of nowhere. You could just walk up to, hang out, have drinks, order food.
It's awesome.
And like you're just wearing beachwear, and there's places you can walk into, pop into. Like I love that shit. So when you said like Miami Beach was kind of like,
I think you would like Hangout Fest. You ever been to Hangout Fest?
I haven't. I think I would like it, but I don't like those type of festivals.
What do you mean?
So like what?
So I'll tell you that I used to go every year. We used to go, and we'll wrap it up soon because we're at like 56 minutes. But we used to go every single year, and then I met my wife, just kind of stopped doing it. You know what I mean? And me and my buddy decided to go back one year, and there was only one person we wanted to see. It was Frank Ocean. There was a couple like smaller acts, but the main reason we were going was him because he doesn't tour a lot, and he ended up canceling. So we took it as like instead of being like pissed about it, like you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna approach it as we're spending a weekend on the beach, just listening to music.
Yeah.
And that's all we did. We didn't go like there was nobody we tried to fight to get into the crowd for. We bought remember those inflatable hammock things that were big for a little while?
Yeah.
We bought a couple of those, just blew them up on the beach. We'd float towards like the back of the crowds and just chill, drink, listen to music. It was awesome.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Like you're not in the crowd.
You're getting around all the things that I was gonna say I hate about festivals. Like first of all, you're in a crowd, like you're fighting through to see whoever you want to see. Everybody's fucked up. Everybody's wasted.
We've talked about it. Like I've said multiple times, I hate crowds. Like I don't like being in people. I'm so uncomfortable. And there's a very, very small amount of artists that I would try to be close to.
Yeah.
Like it'd have to be somebody like the first time I went was for Outkast. They were one of the few that I would try. And even then, like I didn't try to get to the front. I just wanted to you're in the same boat as me. Be tall, I can be in the middle of the crowd. Yeah. And I can have a good sight. You know what I mean? But I'm with you. I hate the crowds. Everybody's drunk. It's hot. they're stupid. Like, it's mostly, like, especially now. When I first started going, I was straight out of college.
Yeah,
I was like, all right, it was fun.
I've done it in my younger days.
But there's definitely people like that are our age. Like, I got my buddy Chad. He goes every year.
Yeah.
Still. Granted, he's single, but.
Well, yeah, that's different. You're living younger.
Yeah.
I'm 50 compared to his 20 or whatever, you know. And neither one of us are those ages.
He's my age.
No, I know. I'm saying, like.
Oh, okay.
When you're single and you're married with 2 kids, it's like, it's fucking different worlds.
Yeah. My number 1, somewhat mentioned it, not really. I want to go to Ireland and pub hop around Ireland. It is I'm working slowly but surely, working with my wife, trying to convince. She doesn't want to go out of the country.
Really?
Slowly, we're gonna just chip away at it. I've told her, like, 2 years from now, 2-3 years, that's where I want to go. Just for, it doesn't even have to be for like a week. Like 4 days is like my sweet spot for a vacation.
Yeah.
I just want to go pub hop around Ireland, and that's just it. Because I'm as you know, big beer guy. I just want to go somewhere that's got real beer, and I want to just try it all.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
That's it. That's what I want to do. And I'm slowly just chipping away at her.
These are all things I would love to do. Like, I would put all these on, like definitely want to go to Ireland. My wife wants to go out of the country, so she.
This is more of like a bucket list. It doesn't even have to be my birthday.
Put it on a bucket list. I was thinking in terms of, like, I was actually staying more like stateside, like just easy, like quick getaway, like, you know, if we're going to a city.
Not a whole lot of places I want to get.
Well,
see, I'll find like 2 spots, like Vegas and Miami, and I just go back.
That's fair.
I like those places. That's where I want to go.
I've never been to either one of those places. So when you said Miami Beach, in my head, I've had friends that have gone to Miami. They sent me pictures, and I'm like, oh yeah, Miami's like a city. But in my head, I remember Key West, and in Key West, there's no beach, and it's one of those places where you would assume.
Yeah, no, Miami has South Beach. It's really nice.
But anyways, my number 1 is stateside. It's Nashville.
Oh man, I forgot about Nashville.
Live music. Alcohol.
That is like number 1
party
on
city.
My wife, or like on our list together is Nashville.
Yeah, we're trying to go for my birthday. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I think it was supposed to be a surprise, and she spilled the beans yesterday, like randomly, and I was like, "Oh, is that what we're doing for my birthday? You know, it's like a month away, right?" And she was like, "Yeah," and then she said she had to like talk to some of our friends and invite them. So today I was like, "Hey, did you invite everybody? I see you have a list here with names written down." She was like, "No, I haven't texted them yet," and I was like, my birthday is like a month away. You're just gonna make people randomly decide to go to Nashville, like.
I like that.
So it might end up just being her and I, but it's fine.
Yeah, I didn't even think about Nashville. That's a good one. San Antonio is another one that's on my list.
Yeah,
people always share that generic picture of the Riverwalk with the lights and everything. Like, I'm a sucker for that.
I do want to go to San Antonio. I went to Austin, and I feel like it's probably a similar vibe. I mean, different vibe. Austin's weird, which literally. San Antonio, like, same type of food probably, and like there's some cool spots I've heard out there.
Last year,
it's like an hour away.
This is how we'll wrap it up, I guess. Instead of doing we kind of agreed, instead of doing like gifts every year for our anniversary, we were just gonna try to do like a little weekend trip together every year, somewhere new.
Ding! Sorry, I'm filing that away for later.
Yeah, like getting each other gifts is just dumb. Like we don't need anything. Like I'd rather I'm big on like experiences. Bless you. Excuse me. Big on experiences, not necessarily gifts. You know what I mean? So we kind of agreed on that. And last year we didn't get to do it because stuff came up. This year we're not going to get to do it because the baby's due 2 days before our anniversary.
It's tough.
So we're kind of pushing it back. But the 3 places I was looking at last year were Nashville, San Antonio, and Charleston, South Carolina.
Charleston
were the 3.
Charleston's beautiful. I haven't been.
Yeah. We were going to do Nashville. It was just way too expensive. Like, plane tickets were outrageous.
Yeah, I've always noticed that. I haven't even looked yet. We're going to make it work.
Yeah. Well,
in my head, I'm going to Nashville. So
you should mention that to Victoria every year. Take a little weekend getaway.
I love that idea. We've done it for our birthdays randomly.
Yeah. Like, we always do some vacation, just the 2 of us. She doesn't like to leave the baby too often.
I think you have to, man. There's that great dating advice. I forget what it was, but it's like you need to have a date night every so many days. You need to have a getaway every so many days. Like
my mom like would constantly tell us, like, once we had them, like, don't forget y'all had each other first.
Right,
is what she would say.
It's important.
Yep. Then that's just, and but being that I work shift work and night shifts, like, I'm away from them often. Like there's sometimes I'll work, if they got to go to school early, I'll go 2 or 3 days without seeing them. Yeah. So I'm kind of used to it. It's tough for her. This is going to go on forever.
It is tough. I was going to say, I want to share this one last thing and we can wrap it up. It's tough, but it's kind of the same. Like I work from home and I see them all the time.
Yep.
But I'm busy.
Right.
Like legitimately busy. And it's like I don't get to spend time. So it's kind of similar. It's just it's different because I'm stressed all day because I have to deal with 20,000 things with them.
The key for us was just like I've tried to spin it as like we try to do 2 vacations a year, a family one, and then one with just us two. And I've convinced her to do like a little weekend, leave on a Friday, come back on a Monday. That's it. That's all I need.
Yeah.
Perfect.
No, I like doing that. We've done that before, which we could talk about that offline. But let's wrap it up. Yep. Follow me at @VPattyV on Twitter. Also on Instagram at PVath Jr. If you want to follow me there, you can.
I don't know my Instagram.
That's fine.
I'm not on there anyway often. Follow me at the Dave Rainey. Check out theknow.com. Go to the shop. We got a bunch of new.
We do.
Get you some Cotton Bowl gear. Some gear to wear to the Cotton Bowl. You know, or to wear to Patty's house on January 2nd.
Hell yeah.
You're only welcome if you show up in two-lane gear.
Yeah, you don't come if you're not wearing
bonus points if you show up in our two-lane gear.
Yeah, definitely. But I'll make you some drinks if you show up in our two-lane.
We got a pod hat up there now. We got some shit.
I got to get that thing.
I got it coming next episode. But that's all. That's what I got. Follow at Be in the Know. Go to theknow.com. Follow us on YouTube. YouTube has handles now, by the way. You should just be able to search at Who Effing Knows. And it comes up.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's a new blog. I deal with the YouTube. They send it to me. So
thanks, buddy. It's our email, actually, right? It's like the same email. I just don't look at it.
I guess. I don't know. Well, yeah. Okay.
Anyways, y'all take care. Until next time, roll wave.
Go Vipers.